Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Kim Gadrach and this is Voice Talks, where I talk to you all about how to step out of your shell and into your power by freeing your authentic voice. And today I'm going to be talking about what it means to be in your power.
Voice Talks. Voice Talks. Voice Talks. Voice Talks.
So I want to start off by talking about your boundary. Your boundary is this invisible line that encompasses everything that makes up you. You know, your emotions, your fears, your desires, the things that you want, the things that you need that are non-negotiable, that actually you don't function well without. And so you can imagine an invisible line that encompasses these things, right? And what I believe about the world is that there is no objective truth, okay? There's nobody who can say, I've got it, I've got the answer, this is how it is. All the world is the interplay of my this and your this with everybody else's this, right? And I think what happens is if we've been brought up in a way that we've been taught to more cater to other people's needs or avoid conflict by sacrificing whatever it is that you want to keep the peace, we can lose a little bit touch with this. We might lose a little bit touch with it, or we might start to see it as less important than other people's this. What I really think is that whatever level of group that we're looking at, whether we're looking at a family or a business organization or a country, every single person within that group has their own unique gifts and their own unique contributions. Each of us has that, our way of shining in the world and our way of contributing to the world. And the group, the collective, benefits the most and thrives the most when every single person within that community has a strong enough voice to participate and to show their this and sort of step into that arena, step into that interplay. Because then there's this richness that comes from that. There's this richness where we get to have everybody's goodness and everybody's beauty. And there can be all sorts of reasons why we don't feel like we can show up in this. And so for me, being in your power means being really, really connected to what's inside of this boundary, being really connected to it, knowing very intimately what it is, believing that it is just as important as everybody else's, and being able to show up in the fullness of that. That can be very brave, you know, because a lot of the time there's more of an idea that we should blend in. And like I said before, that we should avoid conflict. It can be very difficult. Very often, if we're not fully in our power, we can look a lot to other people. Oh, what do you think I should do? Or we compare ourselves to other people, how someone else might be feeling about something or how someone else might be responding to something. But when we're really, really in touch with our own inner world, and like I say, everything that's within this boundary, we actually get to feel a lot calmer and a lot safer. Find it a lot easier to make decisions because actually this is my map. This is my map for how to navigate the world from my own perspective. There is nobody else who can tell me how I should think about things, how I should feel about things, how I should respond to things, because I have all of the answers. I have them all. And it can be really hard to take that on and believe it. But for me, really, this is what being in your power is. Having that connection and having that certainty that if I feel it, if I think it, if I believe it, then it deserves to be seen and it deserves to be heard. Sometimes we might be wrong, and that's totally fine. But I think the really important thing is to let it out anyway. And so what is the first step then to getting into your power? I believe that based on this, what I've said to you is that what we first need to do is to get in contact with our inner world. If we've been very used to catering to other people's needs and to adapting our likes and dislikes to the people that are around us and just putting other people first, not presenting our ideas, sometimes we lose contact with what those things actually are. So for me, the first step is to just get back in touch with yourself. I would recommend journaling. That can be really helpful. And I really like to use the voice itself to connect to our inner world. For anybody that knows a bit about embodiment work, the voice is an amazing tool for embodiment work because our voice actually makes real sound vibrations that we can feel in the body, right? And the way it feels in the body is, again, it's our map for what these things are. Our emotions let us know what it is that we want, what it is that we need, what it is that we don't like. We can feel that physically in the body. And this is our best guide for being in our power. So I have a lot of tools for doing that. And it's actually the first step of my 4-month program for stepping into your power using your voice. We spend the first month using tools where with the voice, we go inwards, we reconnect to the emotions, we reconnect to what it is that we want and get really, really deeply intimate with that. Because we can't go out and sort of free our voices and advocate for ourselves and speak our truth without knowing what that truth is. It sounds so simple, but so many of us are disconnected from that. And so I have a quick little voice tip that's in another video that I'll link to here of a way to get started with that. If you like the idea, if you don't, most of my clients are not singers, but I do use singing in my work because for me, singing and speaking use the same vocal mechanism anyway. So you're training how you speak up out in the world when you're training your singing. And I think that humans have such a connection to music. I can't think of many people in the world who don't like music. So your singing voice and your creativity really help you to process and access your inner world and get really in touch with what's here. So if you like singing, or if you're really afraid to sing but sometimes really wish that you wouldn't be, maybe your voice, working with your voice in this holistic way with a focus to personal development and really rising into your power, really stepping into the fullness of you, could be a great way to work. And if you get interested by that, if it resonates with you, then I'm going to post a link at the bottom of the video to book a call with me so that we can talk more about how I might support you in stepping into your power, taking the space that you deserve, because each of us feels so much better when we're thriving, and the world benefits from you being in your power too.